how do you see it best to deal with competition and cut through this social clutter? I really think this is a really tough challenge for all the new upcoming artists, whether be it entrepreneurs in a business or as an artist. Market is saturated everywhere. How do you think you can cut through that competition?
Well, from my opinion, I think you should be more focused on yourself and what's unique to your audience and what's your vision for what you're trying to put out there. A lot of times, if you get sidetracked or focused on what somebody else is doing, you'll lose track of your own personal vision and what you want to put out there. And I think that waters down or dilutes your vision and what you're trying to put out there. So I just think if you focus and work hard and stay passionate about what your vision is, and you don't give up on it and you keep working, I think you'll cut through.
The beauty of it all is now that there's so many microcosms, you know, you can go to any given show. And I went to a show last week in New York. I never heard of this artist. She was on tour. I forgot her name. She was on tour. Everybody was singing her songs word for word. You know, so it's like you can find your lane and capitalize in it. But if you have immediate competition, my advice is learn what not to do. Learn from their mistakes. Okay, they did ABC, but they forgot X, Y, and Z. So let me make sure I learn ABC and then do the X, Y, Z they didn't do. You know, so that's how you can deal with your competition if you have that immediate direct one.
Talking about competition, right? I think competition is very exciting things. We should not really see it as a negative thing, because when you're talking about competitions, like there is many aspects of competitions. There is online competition, which is the easy thing that everyone go for, which is followers, stream numbers, and everything. But there is other competition, which is not really tough as online competition, which is, as I mentioned before, live events. Artists need to be live, need to go to audience, because when you go to promoter that he want to book an artist, he don't really go by how much follower he have social media. He need to go by how many people he can bring to your event. And if you really have maintained that relationship, having phone numbers, having like mobile contact, and have that close relationship, and say, I'm going to be performing in some certain venue, maybe just for 100 people, but you succeed to bring people to your event, that's something beyond competition, because that thing can be scaled and can be really grow with more activities. But if you're really focusing only about like online competitions, maybe number will be scary you, because there is 1 million artists around the world. And to be from zero to go top one, I think it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort.
Robin, can we get your insight on that, please?
I think these guys summarized it really well. So yeah, it is actually very spot on in terms of, you know, identifying why are they your competition? You know, sticking to your lane, doing what's unique to you, defining actually what is competition. Why do you feel that they're a threat? You know, when you use the word competition, it's in a negative space. Or are you threatened by something? Are you envious of what they have? When you shouldn't be, because every single individual in this world is different. You cannot, the story, there's no copy-paste in this world. So it's kind of, once again, stepping back and, as I mentioned before, going through that self-discovery and say, okay, how do I distinguish myself from the world, rather than looking at certain individuals or certain groups or whatever it is that you feel you're threatened by, because I think that can really clutter your content creation. It can cloud your judgment. You might see them as a competition, but no one else might. So I think, yeah, you need to just take a step back and stop feeling threatened, and look at it negatively, and just be you and do you, and whatever comes from it, I'm sure positive things will come your way.
Thank you very much, guys. So bringing us back to the point of platforms, what platform do you think an artist or entrepreneur should be active on? And what practical advice can you give them to start their own marketing and social platform, platforms and activate them?
I would say that I think everybody's looking for a blueprint, that this is the only way that you can get from point A to point E, but everybody has a unique audience and a unique creativity. So I would say it's all about trial and error. You have to find your audience and where they're at, and where do they like you at. One artist might be hot on Instagram, the other one might be YouTube, the next one might be TikTok. It's your job to find where your audience is and where you can connect with them.
I think if you want to talk about platform for artists, there is no any louder platform than stage. because social media, I'm really like kind of believer in social media, but nowadays it's very tough. So if you're really getting so much romantic in being social media and forgetting about artists gonna be on stage, that's gonna be a really big problem. So I really advise every artist to focus so much to be live and being visible than just social media, because when you have really visibility and going to market and go to different city, go even to Asia, go to US, there is a lot of kind of like emerging festival that's really looking for talent that have small audience, you know, and that way can be converting that existing audience as a fan. Instead of going online and getting too much like exciting with like and comment and numbers of views, that's really, it's so kind of unrealistic. And I say again, if you're really artist, you need to have a team. That's number one. So there is no artist by himself. There is no artist, I have a manager, talk to my manager. There is no have time to talk to your manager, because in the end of the day, people looking so much onto kind of like the framework. Oh, I need a manager, I need this, I need that. But no one looking for being realistic and going by, like reach out to people, hey, I want to be performed, because there is a lot of space to be performed. There is a lot of festival, there is a lot of kind of stage need to be refilled. But that's going to be number one stage for any followers. So there is no platform to be online. So online is like everybody used. We need to push more onto being live in the stage.
I think you're absolutely right. Sometimes we got to keep it and bring it back to the basics, you know. And a lot of these artists, they might have 1 million followers, but they suck live. You know, they're just doing karaoke. They're just rapping or singing over their tracks, which to me, if I'm paying for a concert, I don't want to see you singing or rapping over your own track. Like, I want to just get my money back. Or, you know, I'm angry. So they need to learn how to perform. So the basics are always important. But as far as social media, I think just be on them all. Who cares? Just be on them all. You never know, something might pop off. Like, I'm just learning about Patreon and Triller and all these other ones. Who cares? Just sign up. Be there, you know what I'm saying? Dabble, learn, mess with it a little bit. See what's up, might pop off for you. But that live aspect, bro, so forgotten. And that's the backbone of an artist, you know what I mean? So I agree with you.
So elaborating further on live performances, first thing that comes off to mind is open mics. Do you have any other places or suggestions that an artist can actually go and perform on?
I will add just one point to he mentioned is very important. Like, yes, everyone artist is really good online, on YouTube, on music video, because everything is just like pre-productions. So people seeing only like fine, very fine product, nice music video. But when you're putting artists on a stage, this is the first question I ask every artist that wants sending us email, hey, we want to be like featuring a platform and tell them story, you know? I think the first thing artist think is to creating his band before his manager, before everyone else. Because artists, when he think about stage, he think about like, I have a DJ and I have USB and then, okay, play my song. That's not real music, you know? And the first thing when an artist is thinking about, I want to be performed, it's not just like reaching to, like, let's call it like to event to perform. You need to be ready. You need to have like a band with you, at least like a basic thing to be performing live. So that thing can really be prepared ahead of starting kind of like pitching yourself. Because you said, okay, what is the thing that could be nice, like platform for artists? Any platform has different needs. So artists should be ready to any platform before pitching him or himself.
Yeah, and to build on that, I think it goes back to respecting the art. Respect your craft. You know what I'm saying? You can't go and, you know, fight Bruce Lee when you ain't even got a white belt yet. You see what I'm saying? Like, do the open mics and before you go and do a festival, because you're going to be bad and you're going to play yourself. Like, respect it. Respect this art form. Respect your culture that you're in and your craft. You know, a mechanic has to learn and go to school before he fixes a car. You know what I mean? It's just common sense. And a lot of people, they get too ahead of themselves. And besides open mic, you were asking, right? Besides that, I think you can, it goes back to branding. You can come up with concepts. So like, for instance, in New York, you have subway performers. You have street performers. I know in Dubai, you probably can't do that because that's not accessible. But come up with some kind. I'll give you an example. There was this guy in Belgium who would film artists freestyle from the bottom of an escalator to the top of the escalator. That was it. That was it. And, you know, you could come up with concepts and different campaigns that showcase your live ability, and in turn you're practicing, in turn you're training yourself, you know, and if people could tell if it's a one-take performance, you could do it and figure it out. That's the beauty of this, you know, the creativity of it, where you could figure out the nooks and crannies and just get it cracking.
James, Robin, any insights?
I would say this, like, I think, to piggyback what all of you have said prior to me, I think that audience feels that energy. Like you said, you know if somebody's prepared, or they're up there for the passion, or the audience feels that. Or we know if somebody's just up there for a payday, or they're up there just to be there and they're not really feeling that live performance. And that translates. I think nothing beats like word of mouth promoting and marketing. Like if people are talking about you, oh, this person is amazing live. That cuts through any social media, that cuts through any marketing you can do. People gossiping and talking about how great you are as a live performer.
Once again, these guys just nailed it. I love actually how you've kind of gone back to basics. I think people forget about, as I touched on before, just being individual and being you, and that will shine. If you're focusing on your current skill sets or concepts or whatever it is that you're doing that you know is true to yourself, it's going to outshine anything that's on social media, anything that's trending, because social media is very timely. People forget, if all the accounts got deleted today, who are you? And if they are deleted, you can go back on and be whoever you want. It's all about perception. So I think people are just focused completely on the wrong thing, and it is going back to basics. And I love how everyone here is just being real, just be human.
I think there is also other point just to highlight it, because everybody watching us want to really find solution, not just the problem. Because in the end of the day, yes, there is a lot of problem we need to fix, but there is some solution, right? So there is something called Google. Everyone can start Googling things. So you can really read a lot of biography of any artist. I think the first thing can be done, which is very simple. There is a lot of artists when they start, or most of the artists starting on school tour or university tours. There's a lot of school, there is a lot of like university. So we can start just like collaborating with this audience. Let's say, for example, having like 50 schools, that's more enough to start with. So you have like a real audience, and that real audience can be kind of like something like a platform. I've been performing in 50 schools. I can listen to your story. There's something loud, you know? So there is a lot of options. I think start Googling and starting understanding how artists make their own careers.